Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Next, we will look into production budget. So what is production budget? So first, just now we have looked into how many units that we need to sell and what's the value. Next, after we know how many units that we want to sell, then that goes to the production. How many units that we need to produce in order before we can sell. So production budget shows the units that must be produced to meet the anticipated sales demand, right? So that one is derived from the sales budget, okay, plus the desired changes in ending finished goods inventory. So how many units that you need to produce depends on the sales. Okay, depends on the sales, and then you need to do some adjustments. What are the adjustments? It depends on the changes in the ending finished goods inventory. So essential to have a realistic estimate of ending inventory. So that means if you want to know how many units that you want to produce, so that will be the budgeted sales unit plus the desired ending finished goods units minus the beginning finished goods units. That will give you the required production units. Okay, to help you understand this, okay, I will show you a simple example. Okay, I'm just highlighting this one. For example, okay, you have the sales unit and then you have to add the closing inventory of your finished goods, and then you need to less the opening inventory of your finished goods so that you know how many units that you need to produce or the total quantity to be produced. Okay, I'm going to explain this in 3 different scenarios. Okay, let's say in scenario 1, your sales unit is 2,000 units. Okay, you have 2,000 units. All I'm talking now is about the units. Okay, you have the sales units of 2,000 units, and then you don't have any opening inventory or closing inventory. So how many units that you need to produce? You want to sell 2,000 units, so you don't have any opening or closing inventory. So your production will be the same as the quantity that you intend to sell. So that will be 2,000 units. So if you want to sell 2,000 units, then your production will be 2,000 units. Okay, now let's say in your scenario 2, again, you want to sell 2,000 units, but then let's say you already have 100 units. Okay, you already have 100 units. So how many units more that you need to produce? So if let's say you want to sell 2,000 units and then you already have 100, that means you just need another 1,900 units. Okay, how do you arrive at 1,900 units? That will be your sales minus your opening inventory. So that, and you don't have any closing inventory, so that will give you a production of 1,900 units. So I repeat, for example, you have the sales of 2,000, you want to have a sales of 2,000 units, and you already have 100 in your factory or your opening stock of your or opening inventory of your finished goods. Therefore, you just need to produce another 1,900 units. Now, let's say in scenario 3, the same let's say a continuation from the scenario 2 just now. Let's say you want to sell 2,000 units and then you already have 100 units as the opening inventory. That means you need to produce 1,900. But now, what if at the end of the period you want to have a closing inventory of 300 units? Let's say you want to have another 300 at the end of the day or at the end of the period. So how many units that you need to produce? So you want to have extra of 300. So that will be 1,900 plus your 300. That gives you 2,200. So that means you need to produce another 2,200. So based on this, you normally you start off with the addition first, then only you minus. So in that case, how do you arrive at this production unit? So that will be sales at your closing inventory less your opening inventory. So that will give you your production. So that's why you have here sales at the closing inventory less your opening inventory, so that you will arrive at the quantity to be produced. If you go here, you can see that the budgeted sales units plus the desired ending or closing finished goods inventory minus the beginning finished goods units or beginning finished goods inventory. So you will arrive at the required production units. So in this case, for example, Hayes believes it can meet future sales needs with an ending inventory of 20% of next quarter's budgeted sales volume. So this one, 20% of next quarter's budgeted sales volume. So that would be, so you are preparing for the year ended 31st December 2022. So that will be quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. You already decided, we already calculated previously in our sales budget, the expected sales in units 3,000, 3,005, 4,000, and 4,005. And then the desired finished goods, this is the formula that you add your ending inventory less your beginning inventory. So that would be, how do you arrive at, take this one, how do you arrive at 800? So 20% of next quarter's budgeted sales volume. So 20% of 4,000, okay, 20% of 4,000 gives you 800. So the same goes here. How did you get 900? 20% of 4,500. And then remember, the closing inventory of one period is actually the opening inventory of the previous period. Sorry, the closing the closing inventory of one period is actually the opening inventory of the next period. So here, for example, for quarter 2, the closing inventory is 800. So that will be the opening inventory for your quarter 3. So for quarter 3, that's why your opening inventory is 800. This one from 800 here, that will be your opening inventory here. Okay, the same goes here. The closing inventory here will be the opening inventory here. And if you, this one, the closing inventory here is actually the opening inventory in the second quarter here. Okay, so you can do the same thing there, right? So how do you arrive at the 600 here? So you see here, the 700 is from this one. So the 600 will be from the previous quarter. So that means the quarter 4 for 2021. So that would be 20% of 3,000. So 20% of 3,000 gives you here 600. So 600 will be the beginning inventory of this quarter. So that's how you prepare your production budget. So for the total, so you just add all this. Okay, 3,100 plus 3,006 plus 4,100 plus 4,006. That will give you a total for the year of 15,400. So that's how you prepare the production budget. So remember, you start off with your sales budget. So sales budget is very straightforward. You just take the quantity times with the selling price per unit. And then based on the quantity that you want to sell, you now proceed with the production. How many units that you need to produce. But the production, you need to adjust for the opening and the closing inventory. So that's how you prepare the production budget. So with that, I thank you.